My name is Mr. Anderson, and welcome to what will be the last episode of WSN News. Um, we will explain what is coming next, what is happening today, all the changes that are been occurring in the last 24-hour cycle, even less, 12 hours, in just a few minutes. First, we wanted to start by wishing Kevin Smith a speedy recovery. Kevin Smith had a massive heart attack late last night. He seems like he's doing good. It was a close scare. We look forward to more. Of course, we're covering this because Kevin Smith has inspired many of us, including myself, and we all wish to see him back on his feet and creating new content. So a lot of people have been asking, what's going on with the WrittenSiNs? And to answer that, you can see up top a temporary new look. At the end of the show, we will be implementing our brand new banner, which has some amazing art that we just got today. That is absolutely amazing, and it's definitely going to be something you're all going to like. And you guys have seen some of it. I know you guys have seen, some of you have seen on our social media that there is kind of a leak going on purpose, because I wanted to build like excitement for this. So let's just start in the very beginning. And by the way, the art, just so you guys know, is done by someone who is a co-creator of mine. We're working on some stuff. Great guy. He is Rahil Mohsin. So Rahil Mohsin, who is the guy who helped me bring Cat Dad and Supermom to a handout to my Comic-Con table, and is going to be working with me on Jax the Andersin. Hopefully the coloring book, which I'm going to be working on next week, is going to be there. His art's going to be here at the end of this program. I didn't want to reveal it. I want you guys to check out the site and see what it looks like. So as soon as I'm done, I'm going to update it. Wanted to say something that wasn't going to be for this video, so you guys can come check out our new look. So here's the deal. WrittenSiNs is going to go away for a little while. It's going to be used by me later on. First, I want to transition a lot of stuff. We got to figure out about the t-shirts that we have left over, the business cards we still have printed. I gotta figure out a lot of that. So basically, we're changing or evolving into indie advocates. Now, the reason for this, and I've been asked all day numerous times, why are we changing it? Why is it suddenly such a big change? A lot of people really like to change the name. A lot of people have been strongly suggesting that we do this immediately, which we were planning to. Basically, this has been something that's been bothering me for the last 6 months to a year. When I first launched Creators of WrittenSiNs, I was thrilled. When we got the shorter name WrittenSiNs, I was very happy. And I was happy with WrittenSiNs, and I've always been happy with WrittenSiNs. But here's the honest truth. When it came to the name WrittenSiNs, I found myself spending a lot of time explaining why we had the name WrittenSiNs. And when you're trying to promote or advocate something and you're spending time talking about a name choice instead of a product or something that is more important to what you're trying to do, then that's a bit problematic. Wouldn't you agree? Basically, you're now, instead of me talking about comic books, I got to spend 4 minutes on why the clever idea of WrittenSiNs is. So basically, someone would come up to my table and go, "Oh, what's WrittenSiNs? Do you write horror comics?" No, I don't write horror comics. WrittenSiNs is my website that's in the International Digital Comic-Con that basically advocates for creators. Oh, so the creators make horror stories? No, WrittenSiNs name is because all stories are written sin. If you think about it, you're talking about sin. You're solving a sin. Something about this story revolves around sins. Even my son's book, Jax the Andersin, is sort of about sins because it's envy and it's wanting to know why someone's a superhero. Oh, well, that's cool. And then just this Sunday, someone looked me in the eye. It wasn't the first person, but he was the last, and said, Well, if you're uh, not a horror website, then why don't you just change the name? And it became clear I hadn't listened to people. Some people like WrittenSiNs. I like WrittenSiNs. I like the name. I'm going to reuse it. But instead of me talking to a person for 2 minutes, 3 minutes about something else, I'm talking about a name. So this is a name that I've been kicking around in my head. This is, like I said, he wasn't the first person to say it. And I've been spending a lot of time deciding if we did take down the name WrittenSiNs, what would be the new name? And slowly but surely, this name has come to be my favorite. And I felt like it was something that I could put out there and it would matter. Because the name's now Indie Advocates. Do I have to explain myself? No. More than likely, when I say this, I run indieadvocates.com. You can hear I'm not used to saying it yet. Doesn't roll off the tongue. It's new to me too. Um, once I get back to the road and I begin to talk about indie advocates, and it's so weird to say that because WrittenSiNs has become such a big part of my life, and you'll see it back in 2019. But for now, we are going to be phasing it away. And just as a heads up, we are going to keep our website as a parked address of creators of WrittenSiNs, just because to migrate all of the files, we'd probably lose files. And it's just not smart business. So you can get to this site the same ways. We're going to leave WrittenSiNs.com if you bookmarked it for a few months. We're not going to be, thank you, Dan. Dan Sheen said it was a great new name. We're not going to be moving away from WrittenSiNs being a redirect for a while. So if you've bookmarked the site under WrittenSiNs, just when you can, please update it to, indieadvocates.com. And so in the future, when I do have the other use for it, we are going to do that. So now here are the big questions. This is the last episode of WSN News. I never planned to do a news program tomorrow because tomorrow is my son's birthday. He's turning 3, and I really want to make the day all about my boy. So I'm not doing much besides being with my son for his birthday. We were never going to have a news there. So tonight I'm going to put up a post. I think Melissa says, please don't change the website name. LOL, I would be so confused. My brain. Oh, gosh. You'll get over it, Melissa. You're a smart cookie. You'll figure it out. I know you're going to like the new name after a short bit. But when I go off the air tonight, I'm going to go to the WSN group, which is now, I'll show you, a little different. And I'm going to ask you guys what the new news program name should be, because we're going to walk away from everything that's WrittenSiNs. And if you guys see on the menu bar now, this is the reason I've kind of let it be static and I haven't moved it a lot, is we removed all the references to sins. Some of the problem with the name WrittenSiNs were some people didn't understand it. Some people thought it was about horror, but some people also maybe had a religious reaction to it. I've noticed that I didn't intend. And we're not going to be starting censoring. We're not going to be doing that kind of stuff. The core of WrittenSiNs is going to remain the same no matter what name it goes by. This is really a rebranding and an attempt to make people understand better what we do quicker. So this is not going to change most of what we do other than names. So that's the good news. We're going to be still doing the shows that we've always done, Kickstarter talks. Spoken Sins might need a new name. WSN News, while it signs off tonight, will be back. Right now, my running theory is that Indie News will take over. And if you guys notice, I have actually put the tentative name in here under Indie News. This is moving forward, where we're just going to change a few things, but keep doing what we do. We didn't get to 20,000 plus subscribers by not knowing what we were doing a little bit. We've been listening to you guys. While most people who got to know WrittenSiNs understood what it was, it's time. It's time to do something that better speaks to what we do, and that is indie advocates. So, I'm going to miss WrittenSiNs and talking about WrittenSiNs the way I have. But it happens. You change, you evolve. And as clever as I thought the reason for it was too clever for my own good because I had to explain it. And when you have to explain it, you're not being smart with your time. And that's just the truth. So we're going to show you a sneak peek now of the brand new logo, which this isn't an entire logo yet, mind you. This is a piece of it. I'm only going to give you a little bit of a taste. And yes, that is my son, Jax, the Andersin, the CEO of WrittenSiNs. Amazing art. It is already out there for you guys to see. We've had a huge site hit today where people have been checking out our site, wondering what's happened to WrittenSiNs, which is interesting. Unintended effect of what we've been doing today. So that was kind of interesting. So WSN is gone, so we're not the WrittenSiNs network anymore. So that means a couple rebranding. That's gonna be some growing pains. That means that we changed one of our Twitter handles, and that was WSN News, has now become Indie Advocates. WrittenSiNs will continue to exist. That's not gonna go away. For now, we have. Hold on, I want to go over here, but okay. So our original WrittenSiNs on Facebook has now changed its name and is in the process of being rebranded to, of course, Indie Advocates. So this is going to change. We are in the process of changing our Facebook name. Oh, I don't have it open. We're changing our Facebook name to, and this is our Facebook group, to Indie Advocates. And you guys can see that. It is a slow process that, well, we're doing it pretty quick. I don't know if I'd call it slow, but it's a process that might leave a few glitches. So for a few weeks, you might have to give us a heads up when a link's not working the way it should be. I'm very happy with this new name, this new branding. I think a lot of people have been embracing it today. And like I said, not a lot's changing beyond the fact that we're going to have a different name. And it's all more about names than it is anything else. I think some people are going to be confused a little bit, especially people who don't tune into this, who knew WrittenSiNs and are suddenly, wait a minute, what's this? It's going to be new. So we're going to give it a year. This whole year, which is the year of sin, which is now the last year of sin, which we're going to change some stuff for. And we're going to update a lot of stuff. You're going to see changes throughout the whole year as we move towards the Indie Advocates brand. And I think this is going to be good. I think this stops us from, I think certain shows, when they heard WrittenSiNs, didn't understand who we are. And I think that closed the doors for us. And I think the new name will open doors. Right or wrong, we have to understand that the world we live in. And if indie comics needs to be advocated for by a site like WrittenSiNs, and its name is getting in the way of that advocating, we have to change that. As you can hear, I'm a little bummed about it. I'm not going to lie. I put a lot of energy into that name, and to kind of change direction suddenly, it's a little bit bothersome. But I'm excited about the new name. That's what's cool about it. Like, this is a cool new name, and I'm really excited about it. And I think that's why I'm okay with it. It's just the first day for it. And, whenever you do, it's something change and all that. But I do believe you have to evolve. And I hope this also shows people that we realized that we were doing something wrong, or we were causing ourselves issues, and we knew we had to change it. And now a lot of these changes seem to be happening very quickly. It's because I decided today that this is what we're going to do, and I'm not a waiter. So I've spent the whole day going throughout the internet and changing things. And that means that we're going to have to start from scratch in certain regards with name recognition. Yeah, well, that's a good point. When we even Melissa was saying that when we apply for Dragon Shore, we need to put that we are former WrittenSiNs, And it's going to be that way for a while. When we talk to certain people, it's going to be like, oh, yeah, we are WrittenSiNs still. Because if you type in WrittenSiNs.com, you'll see. But we are having we're calling it a brand change, a brand name change. And you've seen this. We've all seen this, where an item that we love changes its name, and it gives you a while to understand its name's been changing. The first packaging still has the WrittenSiNs on it. It has the indie advocates on it. So we're showing you that we're moving forward, and this is a good thing. I really do think in my bones that this is going to help better advocate for it. But there are going to be some learning curves. We're going to need your input. We want to know what you think we should do and whether we're doing it right or wrong. And I am very excited about the potential for this change. I think people will be more proud to do it. I think WrittenSiNs, some people were worried about talking a little bit about that because the name kind of, and this is something with me and my ego, and I'll admit it. Sometimes I like something and I don't know when to let it go. And my sister had pointed out to me that this didn't explain my brand. So I didn't listen to someone when I should have. Please let that be something that you listen to. But at the time, a lot of people liked WrittenSiNs too. And I think that came from being up in New York. People found it cool to have the Reaper. Now, as far as our character, WS the Reaper goes, I haven't quite given up on him being part of even indie advocates. I don't know yet. We're gonna let you decide the fate of that character that's been running our website. If you guys want him to stick around, he will. If not, he's not going anywhere. He'll have things to do in the future. I like the Reaper. He's tattooed on my arm. He's not going anywhere. He's gonna wind up being a comic book, I think. And that'll be cool in itself. And that'll become our indie projects. And speaking of indie projects, while we haven't talked about it recently, we will still do the WrittenSiNs anthology. It will remain named WrittenSiNs Anthology. It'll make more sense, and it'll be, of course, advocated by indie advocates. And it's really about giving you guys the opportunity to get better exposure. WrittenSiNs could have been closing doors for us. We'll never know. And I know for a fact that when people walked by and read the name WrittenSiNs, people made judgments, and you saw it in their face. And it was the same kind of judgments they'd make with fetish babies. But fetish babies, it was okay if they made those in a certain regard, because at least, fetish isn't for them. But for WrittenSiNs, that was a site that advocated for many people. And having anyone have an adverse reaction to just our name was something that was a problem. And we need to change that. And here we are. We have new art. You guys can see some of it here now, and I'm giving you some spoilers, but you definitely have to check out the page. We're not going to run the rest of the usual rundown of the Kickstarters and all that, because honestly, I wasn't supposed to do the news today. I was taking off Monday and Tuesday. It just so happened we wound up not having something happen because something came up, and we came home a day early, and I decided to change everything. And I spent my day doing that instead of driving because we came home a little early. A lot of it had to do with my back and a swollen ankle. It was time to get home and relax. So I've been kind of off my feet. So I've had a lot of time to do these things today. That's it. I want your feedback. I want to know what you guys think. Let me know. It's kind of scary to do this. So I appreciate you guys and all the positivity I've gotten online. It matters a lot. I think the amazing artwork and the quickness of it that my friend and co-creator of Cat Dad and Supermom, Rahil Mohsin, I do appreciate how quickly he got me art today. I mean, this is brand new art, and now it's on our site. Now we're using it. So that was awesome. And I'm going to go. It's been a weird day. It's a weird day when you change something you worked so hard for, but you know you're doing it for the right reasons. And it's cool and exciting and scary. So I'm going to let you guys end the story tonight. And I'm going to thank everyone for the support and all the years. And we're going to keep going. WrittenSiNs isn't going away. It's getting better. It's evolving. It's becoming indie advocates. Thank you for tuning in. For one last time on WSN News, my name is Mr. Andersin, and I have been the voice of WrittenSiNs.